Hi
No,
guys,
not
kind
yet.
of our first time doing this, so bear with us if you do see us. If you don't, say help. Oh, we are live. Apparently, excellent connection, Joe.
Oh, yes, yes. I see now. It's running on
Wow.
YouTube already.
Wow.
Oops.
Oh, I
Okay.
see it.
Can you see? Is there anyone watching?
No, but Nat dropped a comment earlier saying like two eyes.
Oh, the one
Very...
was, yeah. The one when I scheduled the live session.
Oh, but she's here. She's here.
Hello, Nat.
There could be a bit of a lag in the chat. Yeah.
Okay, it's fine.
All right, coolios. All right, people, let us begin. So have you ever had that moment where you were sitting for the exam paper and in spite of studying so hard, you crammed everything into your brain, you even started like the nights before, and this time around you even started early, and you were so consistent with it, but then when it came down to the wire, when you were sitting down there in front of that paper, you blanked out. It went blank. Study amnesia hit. Well, and that's very common, yeah, whenever you sit for exams, right? So today, hi, my name is Erica, and this is Joe.
Hi.
Yeah, and today we will be teaching you how to draw Imaginotes for separating techniques, because we hear from teachers that this is one of the struggles and that you guys need it for paper 6. Yeah, so we're from Studio E, and we specialize in creating really fun ways to learn, and really fun like comics and games to learn. So we're a multi-award winning education game designer, and so we know a thing or two about trying to make learning fun and memorable for kids. And today we decided to bring you Imaginotes because when we would do on ground marketing, or on ground events, right, Joe?
Yeah.
On ground events, we would get scolded by those of you who had just finished either your SPM or your IGCSE. Scolded. I say this very lightly, but we get, where was this when I was taking my SPM? Or where was this when I was taking IGCSE? So we decided that if we did Imaginotes, we can help you much faster than if we built a game and a comic for now. And so here we are. Yes.
Yep.
And Joe, what should they do?
Um,
And Joe, what should they do?
what should who do?
Well, if they want more of this every week.
Right. You guys can subscribe to our channel. Then we will go live like every week, once a week. Every Wednesday, right?
Yep, every Wednesday.
8 o'clock, same time. Yep.
Yes. 8 to 8:30, because according to our interns who just finished year 11, they say that 30 minutes is like more than enough time for a YouTube video, and we want to keep it as short and succinct as possible for you guys.
Yeah, so every week we will be bringing up like new topics, different strategies for your notes and stuff like that. If you have any requests also, you can just put it in the comment below. Then we will see what we can do. Yep.
Yes, absolutely. And we would love to, like, if there's any topics you're struggling with, we would love to help you guys out. So like Joe says, feel free, don't be shy. We're not gonna go like, haha, you're so stupid. We're not gonna do that because we don't believe
we're all
in that.
especially in the science anyway.
We have our stupid moments. We understand that, but the point is that this is a safe space. I've never, in all the years that I've been teaching, Joe and I are teachers, and in all the years that we've been teaching, I make it a point to never make fun of kids, of my students, because they didn't know something. Because if you don't know something, it means that there's an opportunity, something new, and that in itself is such a gift and an exciting journey. So usually I have a strict rule in my class that if you laugh at your friends when they're learning something or they make a mistake, I kick you out. But everyone agrees that that's the consequence. Yeah, in the class first. So yeah, let's see who's on. Hi Nat, hi Yvonne. Yes, everyone, if you can see this, Nat and Yvonne are our glorious, beautiful artists, the Imaginotes, and they're currently giving us encouragement because it's our first stream. We're just trying this out for the first time. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So before we dive right into the content, there are a couple of things that we want to kind of make sure that you know, because we like to be as transparent as possible. So the first disclaimer is that Joe and I may be teachers, but we are not science experts.
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay, we are teachers who hated studying when we were growing up. Okay, I think Joe, you did bare minimum, right? How much studying did you do?
Very minimum. I was a science stream student, but I knew exactly what I want and I avoided science for the entire life. So yeah.
That is until it came to work with Studio Ela.
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah, we all thought we would escape science and math once we graduated, but because I took performing arts, but it turns out no. So anyway, the point is we are not the experts, but we are in trying to bridge so that you understand a little bit better, because we don't understand and we grew up like learning, having to memorize. I had teachers who didn't know how to teach the subject, so we were kind of left to our own devices lah. Yeah, so that's the thing. Joe was lucky though. He had your parents were pretty chill about your grades, right?
Yep.
It was pretty chill.
Pretty much free and easy lah, because they'll let you choose your own path anyway. You just need to bear with your consequences, like what they always say.
Yes. Yeah. Whereas my dad was more traditional. So if I didn't do a good job, he'd be like, "Oh, you're slacking again." Yeah. So yeah, my mom was chill, but because she saw we were smart kids, me and my sister were smart kids, then she's like, "If you can, why not?" You know.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah, but yeah, that's like a different story. But yeah, so just so you know, we're not experts in science, but we will bring you experts if, like, say we get stuck trying to figure out how to explain things to you guys, or like, like if we need something more in depth. You'll see why as we go along with the notes. All right. The second disclaimer is that, the second disclaimer is that, ultimately, like, why note taking and why do this? Because ultimately, if you plan to get a degree, your ultimate test is still going to be an exam. You're still going to have to remember stuff, and they're still going to test you on what you remember. So note taking to us is kind of like a really good skill to have, because it shrinks down your study time, by so much. It cuts it down so much, and it makes your studying a little bit more fun and active, especially if you try it the Imaginotes way.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've had I was teaching English, an English teacher, and I helped a lot of my students, who were science dummies, so to speak. Like, they were a bit hopeless at remembering like some of the things that were being taught in class. So I helped them get A's for their exams over time, because I was teaching them some of these things. I would sit down with them to actually do Imaginotes with them. We didn't have a name for it back then. Yeah, so that's why Joe is here too, because he's a very imaginative guy. He'd have to be, because he is our game designer. So, that's an added element, building education games. That's an added element, and it requires a whole bunch of creativity. We sometimes finish our workday with a headache. Huh, Joe?
Most of the time.
Yes, most of the time. We finish our workday with a headache. But, we understand. So all we can say is that we get it. We get how difficult it is, because no one, I only came up with this because I'm actually quite a lazy person. I don't like working too hard to get big results. Yeah, we're both. Yeah, so we like doing a little bit of effort and yielding a lot of results. But that takes a little bit of creativity and ingenuity. So today and during the course of the Imaginotes sessions, this is what you guys will pick up. Yeah, the ability to shrink your study time, have more playtime, and still succeed at your exams. All right. So yeah, Joe, ready to get started?
Yep. Let's go ahead.
Cool. All right. Cool. What do we got? Okay. Now,
Separating techniques.
yes. Now, when we teach you the Imaginotes method, one thing I want you guys to understand is that sometimes when I show this to our students, I get two reactions. One is that they'll go, yes, like, yeah, I'm so excited. The second one is like, what Joe did lah? Huh? Like, what for? Like, so difficult like that. Yeah. It can be a bit challenging to do a little bit. It does take effort. I'm not saying that this is like the silver bullet. It's not like the Matrix where I can take a wire from Joe, plug it into the back of my head, and suddenly become a great game designer, because we don't have that kind of technology for humans, right? So the thing is that either way, so imagine studying and memorizing is like pushing a rock up the hill, right? And Imaginotes is the equivalent of building a machine that can push the rock up the hill. So the point is that either way, you have to put in effort. It's just, are you putting effort to struggle, like pushing the rock up the hill, or are you putting in effort to create ease for yourself? So are you building that machine that you just sit there and steer and it pushes the rock up the hill? Okay, so this is something we want you to think about. All right, now let's dive straight in. What do we have, Joe, for now?
So we have several separation techniques
coming. Okay, and the first one that we're doing is
filtration.
Okay, so I took the liberty of drawing this for you guys. Yeah, Joe and I made the decision that I would draw because you see, I don't know if you guys know about these things called bullet journaling. Anyone heard about that? If you've heard about bullet journaling, type yes in the comments. Yeah. So if you've ever heard of that, I didn't touch it for a long time because I thought like, oh man, I'd have to be able to draw like Nad and Yvonne and Joe to make my notes look that pretty. So I never touched bullet journaling because of that. But apparently, after the book came out, then I realized, oh, it's actually a really, really, really functional tool. And it doesn't have to be pretty, but it has to be functional. So that's why I'm drawing, because I want to show you that, yeah, you don't need pretty drawing. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Nat, for replying. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I never touched bullet journaling ever, because like I thought like it had to be that pretty, but no, it just has to be functional. So you've got my ugly drawings, sort of semi-ugly because I've been practicing. Thank you, Yvonne, for your reply. So yeah, so you have that as reference. So don't feel too bad, because the point is to remember and not to like make a piece of art. Okay. If it's nice and you can draw, bonus, like Joe can really draw. Yeah.
Yeah, basically you just need to do it in your own style.
Yes.
The way that you are comfortable with. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, Yvonne says she's not sure how to do bullet journaling. I can show you one day if you want.
So maybe another live session for bullet journaling.
One day, yeah. For Nat, she says she's never good with journaling. Get it too. Yeah, it is a practice. Yeah. I used to do long form ones like super regin, but then I found out, but then I wasn't consistent.
You need to be very disciplined, right?
Yeah, super. So we'll let Nat and Yvonne laugh at my drawings, okay? So, all right. So first of all, we have filtration on the table. So basically, Joe, how would you go about, trying to remember? Like, I think the issue is that because at our school we kind of believe that you should do in order to like remember. Like that's the best way to do it, right? That's why we designed ChemKeeper, right? Which is a chemistry game. But say like we're doing these sessions for say those kids who don't have the technology. So like, how would you actually go about remembering this, like on a note paper?
For myself, what helped the most is always like the drawing, the diagram itself. So when you actually draw it on a paper, you can sort of like get the idea of what's going on in that experiment itself. Then the other thing that helped the most is keywords. Yeah. So I
Got
will
it.
just remember like keywords by keywords, including the whole thing. Then I can sort of like imagine what it would be and picturing it in my brain already. So
Got
it's just
it.
drawing the keywords. Yeah. Instead of the whole paragraph from the textbook itself, I cannot memorize.
Yeah, and you should never do that, okay, people. Like it's impossible to memorize the whole textbook unless you are somewhat part, your brain is somewhat like part computer.
Yeah,
Other
I
than
think there
that,
are people
I
like
wouldn't.
that. Like. Just that not most of like not all of us enjoy
Oh
doing
yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, I had history class and scored like 99 or 100% in college.
Yeah,
It was
same here.
pretty.
I had a friend like slept through and maths as well. Also score A at the end. So it's like
Yeah, that's just gross, man. When people can do that, it's disgusting.
Yep.
I think I froze. Okay, I think I frozen a little bit. It's a bit blur on my side. Oh yeah, back now. Okay. So basically, I think, all right, now if you don't have an opportunity to do filtration, right, in the lab, and you want to practice it, one of the ways which takes a bit of effort is to like maybe make paper cutouts of like the different apparatus, so you can like kind of combine it, and then you keep it in a little box, and then you can actually do that. That's one way I can think of. Another way I can think of is if we look at this diagram, right, you have the filter paper, you have the filter funnel, you have the flask. But what I understand also is that you guys need to remember to draw all the apparatus and things like that. So I guess for me, I like to zoom out and I like to see the big picture. I like to see if there are any similarities, any patterns, anything that I can group together. So I don't like remember techniques, settings. They're sort of interlinked, and that's how you remember better instead of like memorize. So a lot of us like unfortunately memorize, and that's why you get study amnesia when you're facing your exam paper. It's like blank, right? So or we should call it a study blackout actually. Yeah, at the most critical moment that could cost you like, that may cost you like 5 marks or something, that can make and break your A. So we completely get it. So over here, I see more like triangles. So if I was remembering filtration, I would sort of like think to myself that this is like triangle land.
Or a upside down pyramid.
Yeah, or where you have upside down pyramids. Or even
alphabet Y.
or proper pyramids. Yeah. Anyone here ever been to Egypt? If you have, just like say holla in the chat. We completely love to hear from you. Yeah. So basically, the filter funnel here is an upside down pyramid, right? And nestled in it is another upside down sort of open-ended pyramid, right? So, and this one is the filter paper. Okay. Then you have the filter funnel. So we know that so we can call this triangle land because it's full of triangles. That's how I would probably do it. Yeah. And because it's a filter funnel, if I have trouble remembering funnel, I'd probably draw these water droplets, and they're all going like, and they have a smiley face, and they're all
going through a tunnel.
Having fun going through a tunnel. So fun and tunnel, you get.
Yeah.
That was a really bad pun, but okay. But you see, whatever helps you remember. Yes, whatever helps you remember. We come up with the craziest characters when we're designing our games, because sometimes the more bizarre the character, the more you would actually remember. So, okay, then the next triangle is the next F, right? It's the. So if you want, you can actually have like, there's you notice like all the triangles start with an F. Right? So you can probably do like a triangle this way, and then you can do like the 3 Fs of filtration. That is a little bit like a swear word. But yeah, okay. So it's like we don't give 3 Fs about this. No, I'm just kidding. All right, but you can. All right. Oops. Okay. Sorry, kids. All right. The Fs meaning filter paper, filter funnel, flask for filtration. So it could be even 4 Fs, you know, so it doesn't matter. All right. So I'm going to draw in the flask, which is another triangle, but, you know, sort of like at the bottom here. But you see, at least then you have something that connects all of it. Yeah. And then the rest of it's quite easy already. Yeah. So, so then over here in the diagram, they always say like, oh, these are solids. Yeah, that are trapped, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Joe, what do you say when you're trapped? Hey guys, just tell me in the chat, like, what do you say when you're trapped? Like, what's a really great thing to show that these guys are trapped?
Oh crap.
Oh crap. Yes, we could totally do that. We could totally do oh crap. Yeah, anyone in the chat? Just let us know. Like, what would you say if you're trapped? Oh, I see Yvonne said she spent too much time on drawing instead of actually doing the notes. I'm also, I think I'm also guilty. That says, yeah, thanks, Nat. So it's up to you, whichever you remember, right? You can draw arms. All right. If you want, you can draw it bigger. All right, but I'm going to draw little arms waving in the air, and then a little bubble here that says, oh crap, or I'm trapped. For me, I would probably go help. For me, I'd probably go help. But again, whatever it is that helps you remember this image like the best. All right, that's great. And at the bottom here, always there's a liquid filtrate. Now, how would we remember this part? Because filtrate is such a fancy word, we don't hear it every time.
Yeah.
Over here. Yeah. Liquid filtrate. Liquid filtrate. Okay. So for some of you, like, if you hear filtrate, what comes to mind? Yeah? Comment in the chat. And remember, it can be anything, yeah? So we had oh crap, and we had like... yeah, see? Filtrate. Well, for me, I think I'll be thinking of it like infiltrate, right? So it could be like these guys are like masked ninja droplets or something, and they infiltrate. So the liquid infiltrated the flask.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So if that helps you remember, yeah. So you can do like this whole ninja thing going on. Give them like masks. And then like you can draw like a sword and some guy holding like a shuriken. Okay, that's my version of a shuriken. If you can draw it better than me, please by all means go ahead. I'm going to draw this guy with 2 swords because I think it's cool. Yeah. So you guys get the idea, right? The idea is to do it in such a way where you remember it. Now, some of you may be like, yeah, filtration is like super easy to remember. And yeah, that's true. For some of you it is. But the reason why we're going through it is because not everyone, you know, I realize like for some people, they may actually struggle remembering this. Yeah, even though like to most of us, it'll be quite simple. So that's why we're kind of going through. It's kind of like a perfect
even as simple as the diagram of the apparatus itself, people tend to forget. So
yes. Oh, thanks, Nat. Thanks, Yvonne. Yvonne said that for her to help remember that it's a filtrate, she would say she would think of it like filtering water, and Nat would say it's like a coffee filter. Yeah. So for those of you who drink coffee, that's a real life context for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for those of you who drink filtered water, kind of like real life context, except filtering water is like complicated than a filter paper.
A little bit more advanced.
Another thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And yeah, if you so whatever helps you remember it, okay? And especially like if you can put it in context for yourself, in real life context, then it should be quite easy for you to remember. Yeah. So that we call that technique. What do you call it, Joe? We call it context capture.
Yeah, context
Is it?
capture. Right.
Yeah, context capture. Yeah, so where the moment you have your context, then this is what happens. Okay, all right. It's just part of a memory thing. Okay.
Yeah, like every
now,
time you walk into like a coffee house or anything, when you look at the brewing machine, then you can see this is happening. So immediately you can relate it back to whatever that you are trying to remember.
yes, which is perfect. Okay,
Mhm.
so Joe, it looks like it's 8:26.
Yeah.
We've only gotten this far with it.
We can go
So
one more and then
then call it a night. Yeah. Okay, because
Yeah.
guys, we want to get you out the door as soon as possible. Yeah. So, all right. So we hope that this actually helps you. Yeah. Remember the diagram better. So again, only if you're struggling with it, then you can do this. Okay. All right. The next one the next one's really quick because we're gonna talk about because I think if we do crystallization and evaporation, it will be a bit longer. So I think we're gonna jump straight into the two that they actually don't need to remember, but also in the context of context capture, right? So the first one was why don't you introduce it for us, Joe?
Link it to anything that is happening real life. Like you can easily capture it, maybe in the kitchen, when you walk into a shop house or anything. You see the process immediately. You can reflect back whatever you have learned from the textbook.
Yeah. So, for example, decanting, right? That was separate. That was the other separating technique. Now you don't have to draw it, but I think it's important to understand what it is. And sometimes, some of these things we actually use in real life. And we forgot to set the context that separating techniques are kind of like cooking. You could think of it like in a cooking context. Like these are techniques,
or
right?
A baking session.
Yes. So like frying, for example, is to make food crispy, give it that crunch. Yeah. So but we have like issues with how it's taught sometimes. And for those of you who are struggling to remember, explain why it's difficult to remember. But it definitely has to do with the way it is explained in the textbook. Yeah. So basically think of it like frying, boiling, what else? Stir frying, which is a completely different technique. Deep frying, right? Sous videing. Yeah. So for those of you who cook or bake, what you have baking. Yeah. Stirring, mixing, whatever. Okay. So all right. So moving on. So for decanting, it's basically you have a liquid on top and and then you're pouring it away. So to me, it's like pouring away soup. Like say if it's too much soup in your noodles and you're just pouring that down the sink, most of the soup. That's a form of decanting. Yeah. So that should help you remember it. And the other one, Joe, how would you remember? Was it centrifugation?
Am I still connected?
Yes, you are. I think I might be having the.
When you're talking about pouring.
Wait, I was talking about what?
So other than pouring out the soup, you can also have like pouring tea. When you're having tea, you actually need to pour it out from the pot into a cup, right? Yeah, so that's
without the leaves, right?
Yeah, without the leaves.
Sort of like decanting. Science teachers may kill us, but for us, it's like whatever works for you.
Science teachers will kill us. But I do find scientists like to use all this fancy terms.
Yes. Yeah. So we have 6 people on the watching us on the live. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Yeah. We're quite thrilled because we didn't promote this. We just wanted to do this kind of like a test run, for now, and to see probably not any will have pages of notes for us by the end of all this. Yeah. So, but yeah, if you're there, come and say hi. We won't bite because human beings not my favorite food. Yeah. It's not my favorite food, but yeah, we'd love to hear from you. 7 people now. Cool. Hi guys. All right. So so Joe, what's next one? Centrifugation, right?
Centrifugation, yeah.
Understand from a science that you don't have to draw it, but you kind of have to understand how it works, correct? Yeah. So how would you remember that? How would you relate that?
Flying chair. Yes, the motion of
flying chair. Oh yeah. Yeah. Now the reason why you guys have to draw it is because they now have machines to do that, and it's a little bit like weird to draw the machine. So if you go Google centrifugation, the machine looks like a it looks like a rice cooker.
It looks
with
like a mini rice cooker or a blender, Small one.
Yeah, with like the flying chairs inside, because the place to put the
slanted
test
slots.
Yes. Yeah. So if you want, you can actually like draw a sort of rice cooker with slanted slots. Yeah, but you don't need to know how to draw centrifugation. It's just that they do ask it or they do mention it in the textbooks. So this is how we would probably try to associate it so we can remember. But yeah, if you guys are making notes, go ahead and draw it how you will in your own style. Yeah.
Yeah, you can share with us also like your drawing at the end.
Yeah. Feel free to, drop us a DM on Instagram if you're too shy to like post it up. Yeah, we'd love to see it. You can also DM us on TikTok. We're right there too. We're always doing fun notes every day for like the simpler things, but not complicated diagrams like this because we only have a minute on Reels and TikTok. So we just do what we can. Yeah. Okay, so cool. We've come to the end of the show. As promised, we try and end on time. So it's 8:32. Joe, we should let them go, huh?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so what can they expect next week then? What separating techniques are we going to be diving straight into?
We will be having distillation and then fractional distillation. These two are similar but different, same but different. And also the one that we find it's a little bit complicated, which is chromatography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So
that in of calculation.
Yeah. Yeah, and if we have time, we might do a diagram to remember the difference between crystallization and evaporation, I think, because that also has a few more steps. Yeah. Okay, so that's what you have to look for next week. Sorry, we could only get through filtration. I wasn't really keeping an eye on the time, I have to admit. I should have been a bit more conscious of the time. So but thank you for joining us today. For those of you who came, we are super thrilled and super delighted. Please leave us some feedback as well because we aim to improve by the next round. We decided to just go ahead and do the first show no matter how imperfect it is. So yeah, we're just testing it out. So again, remember to like and subscribe because we promise you we're gonna go into more complex things that we've ever done. That we've helped our students with previously, besides just the separating techniques. But we kind of felt for those of you who didn't have access to the lab and couldn't do the thing, and couldn't do it, just like our heart goes out to you. This is probably how we would do it so that it's embedded in long-term memory and you don't have to keep revising over and over again. Fingers crossed that it sticks in your mind. So that's the thing. But Joe, we do have a tool for them, right? Where they could probably do. Thanks, Nat. We do have a tool for them, right? Shall we? I think let's reveal it next week. We have a tool. Okay. Yeah, we actually have a tool where you can actually do the lab experiments even if you don't have a lab. Yeah. So stay tuned for that next week. We will reveal it to you next week. Okay. So other than that, really great to see you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, Nat. Thank you, Yvonne, for being such great support. And Kenny as well. Yeah, Kenny also, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, and for your vote of confidence. And to the 6 of you who are still left, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate that you stuck around, to help us, break the ice and kind of tread water on this whole live YouTube stream thing. So yeah, till then, next week, we will see you then. 8 o'clock as usual on Wednesday. Bye.
Yep. Bye.